Alright, good evening everyone. My name's Phil Gallagher. I run Thraben University, a site dedicated to legacy Death and Taxes. And today we're not playing Death and Taxes, though we're playing sort of a cousin of D&T. We're playing Maverick. So, like D&T, it is a Mother of Runes, Swords of Plowshare, Stoneforge Thalia deck, so that core is the same. However, we're in a second color now. We've gone into green for a number of reasons. We have some ramp in the form of Noble Hierarch, and to a lesser extent, Green Sun Zenith for Dryad's Arbor. We have Knight of the Reliquary as, Wastelands number 5, 6, 7, and 8. Wasteland's really good. Knight fetching infinite Wastelands, even better. Speaking of how good Wasteland is, Ramunap Excavator lets us go and recur those Wastelands, or our Horizon Canopy so we can keep drawing cards, or our Dryad Arbor so we can get infinite chump blocks. And we got some Sylvan Libraries here to draw some cards, Scrib Ranger to... No one knows what this card does. Like, Scrib Ranger just, somehow wins you a whole bunch of games. It looks terribly innocuous, and, it just looks like it does nothing. And then all of a sudden, you've untapped your mom, everything has protection from everything, or you've just gotten to, Knight twice in a turn. Scrib Ranger does some pretty broken things sometimes, although it doesn't really look all that good. I'm always surprised at what that little thing is capable of. The deck list that I'm playing here is very, very sort of stock in the main deck, so... the libraries are not always main deck, but they're pretty much always in the 75 because they're very powerful. And since this is a Green Sun deck, there's always some number of really good tutor targets that are a little narrow. Teague, Pride Mage, Ramunap, Knight, Hierarch, Dryad Arbor, and often Sigarda, Host of Herons are the sort of most common tutor targets, although you can throw in some other things as well. The list that I'm playing is from MKM Paris. It's Tristan Puzzle, ? List. But I made a couple of changes. He had 2 Fairy Macabres in the sideboard, and I swapped them out for a 3rd Choke and a 3rd Surgical Extraction, because I think Choke's really good, and I do concede the point that this deck probably needs to play a decent amount of Graveyard Hate, but I don't know how wonderful Fairy is right now, so I don't feel like I need 4 pieces of free graveyard interaction. I feel like 3's good enough for right now. The Reanimator decks are kind of being held in check by Death Shadow. Otherwise, there's a lot of just common good sideboard cards here, the same sort of things that you'll see in D&T. JP Cobb Martin, thank you very much for the bits. I appreciate it, and I hope you're going to enjoy this content. I really want to choke some people tonight. Just, take their islands and squeeze all the life out of them. I think that's going to be a whole lot of fun. Maverick is something that I've played a little bit. I've worked a little bit with Miranda Keith on the deck list from time to time, as well as a few other people. Let's see. Oh. Do we have a league match left or something? What deck am I playing with? Ah. Okay, I lied. Looks like we're playing 1 match of D&T, and then a league with Maverick. Phil may have incinerated a bunch of tickets, a bunch of play points while playing Legacy Cube over the weekend, so I definitely forgot I was in the middle of this. So that's on me. Oh yeah, those mom standoffs are rough. Okay, so actually, if I'm gonna play 1 match with D&T, I should probably throw up my D&T deck list for a minute. Okay. So there's the D&T deck list. Sorry about that. That's on me. The good news is, I will get some play points back by doing this, and then not have to pay entry fee into my event. Because I'm 3-1, so I'm 100% cashing. Alright, so what else happened this league? So it looks like I lost to Death Shadow, then beat Rug Delver, Blue-Black Control, and Grixis Delver. I did. I did see the sideboarded Devout Lightcaster. I think that card is basically unplayable. And I tested it. So that's not just me just saying I think that card's bad because it's white, white, white. That's me saying that card's bad because it's white, white, white. And it also doesn't do enough a lot of the times. Like, it's cripplingly good against Blue-Black Shadow, but it's actually not very good against Grixis Control. And if that's not the case, then I don't really think you want to be playing that card. Like, it seems like it should be good against Grixis Control, but it almost never mattered in the matches where I played it. I spent a couple hours playtesting specifically with that card versus Mike Danielson, over voltage of the Legacy Premier League, and it was not good enough. Like, sometimes it ate a Lily, and that wasn't enough. Or sometimes it got a Baleful Strix out of the way and was a little bit hard to kill, but it wasn't enough. That card just did not swing that matchup nearly as much as I thought it was going to, which was very disappointing. Alright, so we are playing against Arkin, who is also streaming currently. I enjoy his content quite a bit. He's had a pretty good run recently, and I think he's up to... I think he's back on the leaderboard. I don't know what Arkin's playing right now. This hand sucks. If Arkin isn't playing something that Swords to Plowshares is good against, and even then, it's still pretty bad. I think my 5-card hand's probably better than this. Man, that Batterskull is a frickin' magnet. That'll go to the top. Alright, well, the Swords to Plowshares hand would have been terrible against Tezzerator. Or maybe Antiquity Wars. We're going to try to get a free one, chat. So Dimir Signet actually can't make mana on its own. It requires another card to make mana. So if my opponent doesn't have another land, then this is an insane play. Rats. Revoker on Dimir Signet. Come on. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This is dirty. The good news is that can kill my Revoker. The bad news is it also gets both of his signets in process. I don't think my opponent's likely to have very much, if any, spot removal. So we're just going to crash on in. Yeah, the Antiquity Wars is really good. Okay, so my opponent can currently make 20 power, or no, 25 power. They're 5/5s, right? My opponent can currently make 25 power worth of artifacts. If I can play a Batter Skull next turn, I might be able to just, like, chump through this. So I actually don't think I'm supposed to Wasteland my opponent yet. So my opponent will attack in with all of their creatures. I can blow up the seat. I can jump block something. I guess jump block two things. We'll blow this up, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these comes in. I jump block 2 of them. And I'm actually okay. good, but okay. And I'm not going to make an attack here. Just going to hold some stuff back in case something goes wrong. Cataclysm would certainly be decent here. So I actually think Arkin messed up. I think on my turn, when he cracked that bobble, he should have just left it in play to be another guy. This game's probably going to go pretty long. It's going to go until I get a Flicker Wisp. That's annoying. I draw the land right as I tick it up for Jailer. That's okay. Give Arkin a little love tap there. We will still vial this in to play around like a hard cast Force of Will or something like that. And I don't think I want to equip this sword for ensnaring bridge reasons. My opponent is just casting this Force of Will purely to get out of their hand, They're not casting it because they actually care about the Batter Skull. I just want to make that clear. Chalice on 2. Okay. I wonder if my opponent has something like a walking ballista that can kill me. I feel like they must. Woo! We did it. Alright, so we're playing against... We'll just call it the Antiquities War, and we win. So game 1, beat Antiquities Wars via chump blocking, then beat Bridge with Wisp. Alright, Relic Order, great. Ballista seems fine if my opponent's going to try to hide behind everything. Chalice on 0 is probably pretty nuts. Recruiter and Council's Judgments are good. Mom and Swords to Plowshares are both probably quite bad. And then I still need another card. I guess I can play like one random Gideon. I could leave in like one Swords to Plowshares to hedge against like a Karn Construct token. But I don't even know if my opponent's going to play Karn if they're also playing Ensnaring Bridge. I imagine the answer is yes. Ballista is always a problem. Let's run this. Keeping one Swords to Plowshares over that Gideon might be correct. Unsure. This is not keepable. This is a little weak. But it has a vial. My opponent pausing here. They were deciding whether or not they wanted to crack that Urza's Bauble. Well, there goes the Ether Vial. So we're going to name this Signet because it directly impacts the board currently. But it is possible that just naming something like Karn might just be better in a vacuum. So I can Relic Order out the Sorcerer's Spyglass and turn on my Ether Vial. At which point my opponent's board of a couple of big constructs isn't all that scary. Alternatively, I can just like Recruiter for something like a Flicker Wisp this turn. Or like Recruiter for a Revoker this turn. Chump block. Or no, take the hit from the construct. Yeah. So I think my best path to victory involves setting up for a good next turn. And I think I do that by going and getting a Flicker Wisp this turn. Then next turn, I can go and tick my Vial up to 3, Relic Order out the Sorcerer's Spyglass, then use my Aether Vial to like blink out a Construct token, and kill Karn if my opponent doesn't play another creature. Oh, crap. Ballista's really good. So I can Sorcerer's Spyglass, get rid of this. Ugh. Then I can, on his turn, no, I think I'm just dead. I'm going to take so much damage. So I Relic Order this out. Flicker Wisp in, kill the Ballista. This trades with that. Alright, I'm not 100% dead. I'm going to have to get super lucky. I'm also going to need to Wasteland, I think, to shrink these constructs. Or I can just kill a construct, let my opponent take out one of these two creatures with Ballista, and then on my turn, Flicker Wisp and kill the Ballista then. Maybe that's better. But that would shut off my Vial, which I think is my way to win this game. You can have a Mox Opal. That's a beating. Geez, is that a third Strix? That's a problem, because now those things are big enough that I'm just obligated to jump block or I die. God, I don't know if I have very many ways out. Alright. So I probably need to kill that to shrink those. And then I don't think I can win without my Ether Vial still, so no blocks. I don't even know what I could draw here to get out of this, though. I mean, that's close. So I can go, like, play Recruiter, get another Flicker Wisp, Chump, Chump, Vial in, Blink, still die. Just got a little overrun by that Karn. Alright, so now I know about these Baleful Strix. Let's get one of those Swords of Plowshares back in here for sure. Alright, so game 2, get overrun by Karn. And I don't think I actually want to change anything else. Chalice of the Void on 0 when I'm on the play would be insane. I, in fact, think it is so insane that I will keep a hand that is absolutely terrible because of it. Suck it, Arkin! In before he just, like, plays a turn 2 Karn anyway and destroys me. So this is still very powerful, despite the fact that it's not all that objectively good when my opponent doesn't have a bunch of 0-cost artifacts. Walking Ballista is really good. Okay, so I've got some choices here. I can just Flicker Wisp this Ballista. I can Relic Warder this Ballista. I can Palace Jailer this Ballista. I don't think I want a Palace Jailer when my opponent's about to go off with Antiquity Wars. I think I want to trade my Flicker Wisp for the Walking Ballista. Let's try to sneak 1 point of damage in here, shall we? We have successfully stolen 1 point of damage. So my opponent gets to whack me for 10 this turn. Can my opponent beat a Palace Jailer here? I just like Palace Jailer this Strix, and then I draw infinite cards forever? Probably not. At the same time, can my opponent beat this Mirror Crusader either? Because Mirror Crusader and Thalia is just a 2-turn clock. They probably can't beat that either. And playing the Thalia means that my opponent can't EE on 0 to get rid of Chalice. Or no, I guess they could. They could pay the tax with Darksteel Citadel. Oh, geez, just giant frickin' Ballista. All right. Am I favored if I just trade drawing cards with my opponent? Probably. I don't really want to play my Loam and Relic Order this game, if at all possible. Because one of the few ways I actually lose is my opponent like hiding behind an ensnaring bridge until they can ballista me out. My opponent's also going to draw potentially a whole lot of blanks with their monarch draws. Well, those were pretty good. I need to tag that Inventor's Fair before my opponent can tutor with it. Yeah, King, sorry, I forgot that I had one match left with D&T. We will be playing Maverick momentarily. Don't even know what this one does. It's going to create Thopters all games. Okay. All right. I don't know how exactly I could possibly get back in this game. I don't have Cataclysm. That would do it. I'm really surprised how few 0-drops Arkin has drawn this game. Like, the deck is just absolutely full of them. They are the lifeblood of the deck. Alright, so game 3 lost despite Chalice on 0 on turn 1. Alright, didn't really expect to lose that one. Alright, let me switch my deck list here. There we go. So on the little cardboard live extension on the left-hand side of your screen, and you can drag it around if you want, you will see my Maverick deck list, and you can reference that at any time. It is a Green Sun Zenith deck, so you may find yourself wanting to do so somewhat frequently. Now we will play the Promised Maverick. Oh, Arkin, thank you very much for hosting. That was a heck of a game. I was just commenting on how I was really surprised that you were able to pull that one out after I chaliced on 0 on turn 1. Mom into Stoneforge is a really powerful opener. And maybe that's good enough to just keep it, even though I can't use 3 of the cards in my hand. Oh man, I'm using terrible planes. I'm gonna keep this one. I am not at all worried about trophies. The trophies are of no concern to me. I don't play enough where being at the very top of the leaderboard matters. And if you're not trying to be at the very top, what's the point? Oh, Assassin's Trophy. There may be a piece of content featuring me and a few other prominent Legacy players talking about that card in a day or two. So I'm not going to talk too much about it right now. To at least say something, I think that card is very, very strong, and it will probably drastically alter Legacy. People are going to have to respect that card, and the days of, like, literal 0 basics in my deck are probably over. So rather than lands, it looks like we're actually playing against 4-color Loam here. I may take that back. This might just be lands with a Sylvan Library. Yeah, this looks like just lands with a Sylvan Library. Alright, so Wasteland Thicket, Misty. Can I win this game from here? I don't think that I can. Wait, my opponent's at 11? Oh god, they just drew a crap ton of cards with Sylvan Library. Maybe I can still win this game. I think it's close here between just, like, attacking for 2 this turn and holding the Mom back. I'm going to hold the Mom back because if I can go and put in this Batter Skull, I might be able to just cheese a win out of that if my opponent can't get, like, a Maze or something. Alright, so my opponent has dredged and found a second Loam. Gambling. I might see something like Tabernacle. Yeah. Agreed. Leovold will probably be pretty great in some of the decks playing that. All right, so now there's like this Roshadan Port Tabernacle soft lock going on. We're done here. And Egget, thank you very much for your support. Yeah, we're not getting any exalted attacks this game, I don't think. I think we're just done here. Like, I could try to wiggle through a little bit harder, but I don't actually want my opponent to know I'm on Maverick. That could be relevant. So these are the cards that I like. We don't get to choke anyone this round. Unfortunate. I don't really know that I want to, like, Swords to Plowshares Merit Lodge tokens. I think I'm gonna, like, kind of be pretty aggressive here. Let's kind of figure out what I don't want, and that'll determine how many swords I want. So Gaddock Teague isn't really going to do anything. Jitte doesn't seem particularly good. Hey, Ken, welcome. Thalia's not amazing either. So what would this look like? So I'd have 5 removal spells against the Merit Lodge, 3 surgical extractions to take out their Loams and their Punishing Fires. Remunap and Knight would live through Punishing Fire, as would a Scavenging Ooze once I eat one thing. I'm not sure, like, what's this the ratio of, like, Thalia's to Swords to Plowshares to leave in, but I do think those are my other cuts. Maybe it's a play-draw thing. Maybe I'm supposed to leave in some number of Thalias on the play, and then pull them when I'm on the draw. No, I'm gonna keep most of the swords. My knights can get very, very big, and if I give them a bunch of life for a Merit Lodge, so be it. I don't think this is good enough. This hand's very bad as well. But at least it's Wasteland protected, except for the Dryad Arbor I'm going to fetch. I would love that Sylvan Library. I would love, love, love that Sylvan Library, but I think I need to get my Dryad Arbor on turn 1. God damn it. Man, that's frustrating. That makes that Sylvan Library being gone now all the more backbreaking. Does my opponent really have double Mox Diamond Loam? Must be nice. I'm going to make my opponent wasteland me right here if they want to wasteland me. No, I want to be able to potentially get up to 3 mana, cast my Green Sun for 2, and get my Scavenging Ooze to take care of this Loam. Alright. So now I can replay this Dryad Arbor. If my opponent wants to wasteland it, they can in this turn. Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. And now Maze of Ith is just backbreaking. Actually, let's undo that. Let's play with this. How many basics do I have? Please, please tell me I have another basic. I do. I do have another of both. Awesome. My opponent didn't even loam this turn. Yeah, Meltdown would be solid. Getting rid of both of these Moxen. Okay. So I can just play a knight that's gargantuan, but the Maze of Ith in my opponent's hand checks that. If I just get the scoos here and they have... Actually, I guess my knight's pretty good. So I'm going to play the knight this turn, because it basically forces my opponent to play out the Tabernacle. Or not the Tabernacle, the Maze of Ith. And then my knight protects my non-Horizon Canopy lands from every turn from here on out. That's fine. So I could just whack my opponent for 9 here. Or wait, have I played a land? No. So now I eat that Loam. That's really good, because now my opponent can play Maze of Ith and something else that matters. The new green-black spell is very good. You will see a piece of content from me in the next couple of days that does my thoughts on it. More on that soon. Neat. Man, Knight was really good there. We kind of stole that one. Julian, thank you very much for auto-hosting. For anyone just tuning in, hello, my name's Phil Gallagher, and today we are playing some Maverick on stream. Normally, we're more of a D&T channel, but we're really a Thalia and Friends of Thalia channel, more generally. We're going to keep this. We have a Surgical for a Punishing Fire or a Life from the Loam, and we have a Sylvan Library to fix the rest of our garbage hand. The second library is not as good as the first library is. We're going to get basics as to not get wastelanded. I could stick a threat this turn, but I'd rather just play this Sylvan Library. My opponent's trying to go on this Mana Denial plan currently, and I'll just be so much better off if I get the Sylvan Library in play and I can just smooth out my draws for the rest of the game. Actually, let's undo that. This is either one of my colors of mana, so I should probably just pay with this. Now my opponent will port me off the white, but I will be left with 2 colors of mana still. Well, this kind of sucks. No lands here is very rough for me. And I don't actually want to play this mom out. Since my life total doesn't matter in this matchup, I kind of want to just, like, take this damage and plow through these cards. 3, 6, 9. Actually, maybe I'll put back this Stoneforge I don't need and just pay 4. 3, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. I don't really see how I win the resource war if I play out the mom, though. Like, if I just play out the mom, I get ported, I pay for 2 of my things, and I'm not actually getting anywhere. We'll discard the second redundant Sylvan Library. Yeah, so, like, I'm not really discarding a card that I could possibly use, right? Like, the second library has 0 functionality unless my opponent randomly Krosan grips the first one. This is very bad. This is also very bad. I almost need to just snipe this Maze of Ith right here so I can aggro my opponent out. I'm not going to beat this. Like, this Surgical Extraction isn't going to get the life from the Loam since my opponent has Tranquil Thicket. So I probably just need to, like, go on this plan of, like, put a sword onto Batterskull and kill my opponent. Let's snip what's left of the library. Gamble's super unfortunate that that's left. And I don't think I... Well, I guess I can pay for... Nah. No, I don't think I want to pay... I guess if I pay for the Stoneforge, I can cheat 1 mana on my sword next turn. I just wouldn't be playing Mom this turn. That's probably fine. Gaia's Cradle is sweet. I don't think I need either of these cards this turn, though. So this can go on top. This can go on top. So I can just Ramu Nap this turn and then have, like, lands forever. Or I can just play my sword this turn as well. I think I keep the sword as a surprise. And I think I just play another creature. So now I have Cradle forever. My opponent, like, wastelands my Cradle or anything like that. So my opponent flipped a Punishing Fire, which doesn't do anything yet, but might do something sometime soon. They get Thicket and Misty back with life from the Loam. They get to gamble. We'll see what my opponent has. Maybe a Maze of Ith. Curse and Grip the Batterskull. That's fine. So I can just pay for all of my creatures, replay Cradle. Or I can not pay for Stoneforge. Pay for these 2 creatures, keep 1 white. Or no, I can still pay for all 3 creatures, play Cradle from my graveyard, and yeah, okay. Alright, I got it. Oh, I need to click this. Tabernacle is one of the most annoying cards to play with, or sorry, to play against on Magic Online. I did that backwards. It actually might be better to just, like, nug this exploration right here than to just go Sword Equip. Now, if my opponent wants to keep me off of this Cradle, it is their 1 action, like it is their 1 land drop per turn. Alright, so they can start doing the whole Grove Punishing Fire thing. It checks my Cradle a little bit. Now my opponent tries to port me. Oh, they Punishing Fire does no more. That's fine. So my opponent kind of needs to nug this Mom on their turn. Sure, I mean, you can wasteland and get that cradle, but what does that accomplish? Yeah, this is game 3. So my opponent needs like a crop rotation for a glacial chasm here. Or that works too. Alright, I just die. I tapped out for the double knights so that like something couldn't happen mid combat to mess me up, but I didn't really consider just like my opponent making merit lodge. That's frustrating. That was avoidable. But like if I go to combat, it's very possible that I lose the opportunity to double knight, and I was just kind of like playing quickly. That's on me. Not that it really changes much, because like if I hold up the wasteland, my opponent just like wastelands me. Yeah, they wasteland me, then they do the same thing. So it didn't actually matter. Either way, I was getting got. So I guess it's not a mistake, because I just can't beat the crop rotation. This hand's very powerful. And I'm going to have a lot of different ways that I can play this. What my opponent does on the first turn is going to matter a lot. Alright, so they Cabal Therapy target themselves. This ooze is going to be pretty baller. And my opponent whiffs on their dredge. They are now going to hardcast a Narcomoeba and Cabal Therapy me. Actually, they might just Cabal Therapy themselves and put their Stinkweed Imp back in the graveyard, because they can't win the game with what's in there. Wait, hold on a second. There is another Cabal Therapy in the graveyard, right? So my opponent just let me keep my Scavenging Ooze when they could have gotten rid of it? What on earth? Are they thinking? I do not understand. I'm not complaining, I just don't understand. Yeah, E-Man Gamer, I'm with you there. I think they just 100% just punted, did not realize they milled over a therapy. So they get rid of my knight. Well, I don't know who you are, so why would I call you by any other name if I don't know who you are? Oh, okay. So I think at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and pass this turn. Or no, I guess the ooze can attack in for free. Because I can just, like, pro black if my opponent blocks. Yeah. Are they really reprinting Narcomoeba in Standard? That's neat. Cabal Therapy, target me. You bet. These cards in my hand don't matter. I have everything I need to win on the battlefield. I mean, I would love to see something like Narcomoeba wrecking Standard. That would excite me. I mean, I said I would love to see it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's, you know, good or healthy. If I just double eat creatures here, I have my opponent dead in 2 turns. But I don't really think I can lose. I think the easiest way for me to lose involves my opponent casting multiple spells. So I think I'll cast a Thalia. That helps to wall. I'll attack for 4, hold up 1 activation. I've played Junk Maverick and I've played Green White Maverick, and I think both builds are fine. I think I like the stability of the Green White build right now more than I like the access to the 3rd color. Not 100%, but I think. Alright, so here I probably want my Surgicals, my Paths. Canonist is medium, I'll consider it. Everything else is unplayable. Teague doesn't do a lot here. I think Assassin's Trophy is just going to get jammed in all sorts of decks, a lot of which it doesn't really belong in, but its power level is just going to be so, so very high. Alright, so I want more removal. I mean, if you want a good historical precedent, just look at what Abrupt Decay did. That card spiked real hard in the initial period and then went down to something more reasonable. Abrupt Decay did the exact same thing, where it got previewed, it was cheap for a few hours, and then all the legacy players were like, holy shit, this is amazing, and then it went up to like $20 or $30, and then it went back down after release. Alright, one of these pieces of equipment can probably go. This is not a Ramunap Excavator matchup. This is probably not a Scrib Ranger matchup. And I guess Kozali Pride Mage doesn't actually do anything. I could Pithing Needle for Cephalid Coliseum, but the scenarios where that actually like works are few and far between. King, we're talking about Assassin's Trophy. So, chat, I can play my Dryad Arbor on turn 1 and Wasteland it on turn 2 and get rid of all of my opponent's bridges. Do I want this Stoneforge? I guess the Stoneforge lets me do something with this Batterskull. Which I guess is the way I'm winning this game. I'll put it on top. I mean, I like my odds when my opponent doesn't therapy me being surgical here. Ooh, buddy. Ooh, buddy. So my opponent just got rid of both of their trolls. They have, like, stone cold nothing left. I don't even need to, like, wasteland my opponent. And just, like, get a freaking Dryad Arbor with my Green Sun this turn, if I want. Alright, so my opponent's playing Silent Gravestones, and it looks like very little else for me. If I draw another Green Sun, I can Green Sun for an Ooze. Putrid Imp is not bad. My opponent doesn't have a Dredger right now. They have a Bridge. I'm trying to debate if I want to, like, Stoneforge and just get the Batterskull, or if I just want to play Sylvan Library and look for something like a Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile, or another Surgical, and I think it's very close. If I play Stoneforge, my opponent will therapy me for whatever piece of equipment I fetch. And in response, I'll need to wasteland my own Dryad Arbor so that I can put the other piece of equipment in without it getting Cabal Therapy back. Or I just ignore all of that and play Sylvan Library. I'm not sure what to do. Alright, this could be bad. Alright, opponent now up to 4 cards in graveyard. They did not hit a Dredger, though. So, good news for Phil fans. So, this is happening. This is happening. I can go Jitte equip swing and get counters. I can swords this. So either way, this is going off the battlefield this turn. I think I want the flexibility of Jitte counters. Because with the Jitte counters, I can not only kill this Putrid Imp, but I can also kill my own Dryad Arbor at instant speed if necessary to take out creatures. Ah, they had a Stinkweed Imp all along. Okay. Well, let's get rid of this now. I'm okay with giving them one guy from a bridge. I don't want to kill my own Dryad Arbor yet, because I want to give myself the possibility of killing it to get rid of multiple bridges. Alright, so now there's 2 Bridge from Belows in the graveyard. And my opponent has, like, Faithless Looting and Cephalid Coliseum now, so they get to go ham. One bridge, 2 bridge, 3 bridges. Okay. This isn't actually all that bad for me. So I get a sacrifice, destroy the Cephalid Coliseum so they don't get to go ham again. I can play a 4/4 Knight. Then attack with Stoneforge. And I don't need to kill my Dryad Arbor now. My opponent can't go and like kill his Icarids at instant speed or anything, so I don't have anything to worry about. Still don't need to remove anything. Who is this targeting? Cabal Therapy targeting me. Goodbye, Dryad Arbor. Lord Darkview, I will have a piece of content hosted somewhere else that I will be a part of. It will not be on Thraben University. I'll link to it there, but I'm doing this with a couple of people. I don't want to share details with it because I'm still working them out. And my opponent's done with me. You will not miss it. Don't worry. We'll have a lot to say. And Elliot, I've never been a fan of the bog in these decks. Like sometimes you begrudgingly play it, but I never feel like it's all that good. It's so rare that you actually get the Bojuka Bog blowouts that you actually want with Knight, because some of the graveyard decks just go under it. And other times it's just very difficult to hold up that Bog while also progressing the rest of your game plan. I like Bog much better in the crop rotation decks. Yes, I'm with you there, Lord Darkview. So for anyone not familiar with my stream, or with the Card Hoarder Live sort of like overlay function more generally, if you take a look at the little like card on the left-hand side of the screen with a little microphone, you can expand that to see the deck list that I'm playing even when I don't have it up. That's an extension called Cardboard Live. It's awesome, and I love it. Looks like my opponent plays Red Prison. I will keep this against that deck, because I get to fetch a forest into Noble Hierarch. No, like I honestly, I really love Cardboard Live. I think it is going to be like one of the future components of Magic coverage. I love it to death. Oh man, ripping that Pride Mage is sick. So I can just play Pride Mage this turn and just attack my opponent, which is probably fine. This hedges pretty well against most of the stuff that my opponent can be doing. Like, if they Blood Moon me, it doesn't matter. If they Bridge me, it doesn't matter. Jet Shark, we're talking about the Cardboard Live extension, which is pretty sweet. So it is an extension largely for viewing deck lists while streaming. So it's meant to help improve viewer experience. Well, I don't really know how my opponent wins now. Gaddock Teague is gas against Red Prison. Now they don't get to Chandra, they don't get the Fiery Confluence, like all of their outs are just gone. Alright, so Needle's fine, Awkward with Chalice, Oblivion Ring's good, Gideon's probably good. They did still get to concede, yes, I can't take that away from them too. Alright, so I need to make one more cut. What's bad? Script Ranger's a little weak in this matchup. It's kind of best used to abuse Knight, and Knight's not super abusable against that deck. The Ant Colony, I will have a large piece of content coming out in the next probably 48 hours talking about that card. I think I'm going to shave this, but I'm going to think about it for a minute. No, Jitte does not go against an Ensnaring Bridge deck. That is just absolutely incorrect. Jitte is an amazing card in this matchup because you can shrink down Stoneforge Mystic to 0 power and attack in with it. That matters a lot. This is fine. Well, this hand has 2 basic lands, but I can't get green. It has 2 castable spells and a disruptive element. Is this good enough? My opponent, like, turn 1 Blood Moons, I still have game against that. My opponent, turn 1 Chalices, like, I still have O-Ring. How many hits for a green source do I have? 1, kind of. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 hits for a green source. I'm going to keep it. Alright, Ratchet Bomb is sweet. Oh man! Natural Forest. We're so good. Okay, so my opponent ticks Ratchet Bomb up to 1. I put this sword in on their turn. Then I get to attack with it. I can kill their Magus if I want. And then they can do something with their Ratchet Bomb. That's all fine with me. And rather than cast this, I'm just going to pass the turn here. This bluffs Batterskull, and my opponent probably can't attack with the Magus into it accordingly. Take off this draw step stop now that I'm not playing against Dredge. And the Snaring Bridge. Chalice and 0. Okay, that's slightly annoying. So long term, I'll be using my Oblivion Ring on that Ensnaring Bridge. I'm trying to figure out like whether or not I actually want to put this sword into play. I think the answer is yes. Were you my Accumulated Knowledge Miracles opponent? Was that what my last round was? Because if so, you fought like a champion. Oh, hey! Yeah, that was a rough round for you. That Plague Mare was pretty good though. So I think I want to get a Pride Mage here. Blow up my opponent's Ratchet Bomb so they can't muck with my board at all. Like all my lines are pretty good this turn. So if I just blow up this Ratchet Bomb, all my stuff's safe. Then I O-ring this bridge next turn and equip Sword so long as I draw a land. That's pretty good. I can't just get Teague yet because the Teague isn't safe. Actually, maybe that means I'm supposed to O-ring... No, I don't want to O-ring anything except like Ensnaring Bridge or a Planeswalker. Alright. So I'll do this for 2. I'll get my Pride Mage. I can go to combat. I can attack with Stoneforge because it'll turn into a 2/3. Now blow up this ratchet bomb. Another ratchet bomb. That's really good. I don't really want to play this O-ring into a ratchet bomb. But I guess I can do a ton of damage with it. Because I can, like, O-ring Ensnaring Bridge, equip to Stoneforge Mystic, attack in, blow up the Magus, expose both of your City of Traders so that if you play a land, you double Wasteland yourself. That's probably fine. Well, I don't really think this match was anywhere close to over yet, but okay. I'll take that win. Yeah, Plague Mare was a sweet card. There's, like, more powerful spell-based effects, and there's a couple of other similar things on creatures, but it's relatively unique in that it also just is kind of good against decks like D&T as on a different angle as well. Like, Orzhov Pontiff is, like, a potentially better creature version, but it requires you to be in different colors, and then, like, Zealous Persecution and Marsh Casualties are very powerful spell-based versions. I don't want this sword right now. We've got the whole Plague Mare Appreciation Club in chat. Well, let's not appreciate that card too much. It's real good against me. Oh, please put it on human, and then play, like, humans. That deck's sweet. Boo. Okay, what am I doing with my life? I can hold up Swords to Plowshares, but in order for my opponent to Thought Knot me, they'd need, like, Soul Land plus Spirit Guide, and I don't think I want to play around that. I think I just want to go ahead and get my Dryad Arbor here so that I can Knight next turn, because Knight will outclass everything that they do if this game goes long. Chalice on 1. Not a big deal, friend. I probably should have played Sylvan Library into Thalia, but I miscounted my mana. I forgot I had one floating from the night. Well, there goes my Batter Skull, but I don't think that matters that much. Oh no, there goes my Sylvan Library. Jeez, Wasteland is a disgusting rip. I don't really think I need to draw a card with this Horizon Canopy. I think that's fine just hanging out there and being my only like green-white source after I Wasteland my opponent again. Alright, looks like my Thalia is preventing my opponent from casting something. Dang it, opponent. Now you're not on a 2-turn clock anymore. Oh, wow, that was one of the best possible draws they could have. Now they've kind of, like, invalidated my past couple of turns. I should crack this here. Makes night bigger, and if I draw a fetch land, I can make it even bigger. 3, 6, 7, 8. So my opponent can like always dust me, and then I'll lose the game. Be really annoying. I think attacking with both of these is free because the block on night is obligatory. Can't play this. Can't play this. So we'll just pass. Alright, my opponent untaps their stuff. Probably dead. Probably just like Olimog me, get rid of both of my creatures. That card does not matter. My Dryad Arbor's already gone, so this green sun doesn't actually do anything. Alright, that was like surprisingly close despite wastelanding my opponent 4 times. I think I'll want Pithing Needle, my Paths, my Oblivion Rings. That's probably about all. My Mother of Runes will do literal nothing. Those come out, and then I can probably choose to cut one of my pieces of equipment. I guess Jite's kind of the weakest. What's our record? I don't know. I think we're like 1-1 for the night or something like that. With Maverick. This hand's pretty medium. I'd really prefer a hand that can wasteland, but Sylvan Library can probably find me a knight, which is a wasteland machine. Or I have Thalia as a disruptive element. The problem is that like both of these 2 cards kind of suck. And I don't really want to draw them. I think in order for this hand to be good, I'm going to need like both a land and a knight. I think I just ship this one. This hand's gas. Come on now. Come on. Honestly, who does that? Who does that? My hand was so good. That is disappointing, chat. Oh, I'm so sad. Alright, this is the first turn where something really big and stupid can come down. But I can probably handle the first big and stupid with Swords to Plowshares. Great. Alright, well that's really only like 1 land, right? This one doesn't really count. Or sorry, this one doesn't really count, so that's only a ramp 1. Gonna cost me 2. So let's think about the rest of this turn for a second. So I probably... So I guess I Swords of Plowshares this, play Noble Hierarch and swing in. I need to use a green for this, and I can use a Wasteland here. Not for its intended purpose, but to hit a little hard. My opponent draws an Urborg, then their Wooded Foothills will tap for mana, so that's cool. Yeah, like, drawing Quasali Pridemage to blow up the Spyglass and then, like, double Wasteland my opponent would be sick. I don't know that I'll necessarily have time to do that. But we'll see. There's hope. Alright, so I can't Batterskull this turn. I think I want to start by drawing a card. I'm pretty sure my turn is draw a card, and then if I don't draw something good, play Ramuna. That qualifies as something good. That will let me Wasteland my opponent, like, literally forever. Alright, so do I want to attack in with Thalia to get this Matter Reshaper out of the way? I don't think so. So my opponent is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, potentially 8 mana. In terms of mana efficiency, I guess it's the same if I play Pridemage this turn, or if I cast Ramunap. So if I just play Pridemage and crack this turn, I can waste my opponent next turn, then play Ramunap, then waste again. Fuck! That is so annoying. If I don't respond to this, my opponent will just name Quasali Pridemage, and then that card never does anything. Is there any way that I could possibly do this where I get to wasteland them? I don't think so. I don't really need to blow up this monolith at this point. So I think I just let this happen, and I let them name the Pridemage. Honestly, it might even be correct for them to just name Wasteland again with this. to try to get me to potentially like sacrifice my Pride Mage, but that might be loose. It's probably loose. Okay. So I can just make 6 mana and cast my Batter Skull. And I guess I'm on the aggro plan this game. So if I'm on the aggro plan, I have to start attacking sooner or later. That means this happens this turn. And we'll hope I give them just like a land with this trigger. Yeah, Eldrazi Temple. That's fine. That can go in play. So now we're on dodge my opponent drawing something really big and stupid for a turn or two. Mm. 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 I've stopped counting. Is it just going to be a really big ballista? It is just a really big boy. So I can just attack my opponent for 5. Get my Exalted trigger. Now we'll nug that ballista. My opponent will take down some number of my creatures. Probably using 1 to get rid of the Thalia, the remaining 4 to go after my Germ. Interesting. Alright, so they've opted to just take 2 life here. So I have 4, 5, 6 damage. So I have a 2-turn clock already, so I don't necessarily need to get Dryad Arbor. I'm just going to go ahead and play my Horizon Canopy, and I'll pass the turn. I like my odds of winning. Alright. So I O-ring this Sorcerer Spyglass, and then I Wasteland my opponent twice. Is this better than Green Sun Fatigue? So I take my opponent off of 4 mana. That leaves them with... Alright, so they're going to need to untap that. That leaves them with 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mana still. So the double Wasteland actually might not be doing anything. Still 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So Green Sunning Fatigue is actually probably just better than double Wastelanding. And I just have to dodge one creature-based threat from my opponent that I can't deal with. Yeah. Okay. So I go 1, 2, 3, Green Sun for 2, get Teague, tap this for 3 mana. So now I have 2 different answers to whatever big thing my opponent could top deck if they top deck something. And they didn't, so I just win. Maverick feels pretty good right now. Definitely liking the feel of it. I don't know if it's better than D&T, but I really conceptually like chokes right now. I know we've played against like 4 non-blue decks in a row, and we haven't gotten to choke anyone, which was kind of what I wanted to do tonight, but, you know, so be it, that's fine. I still really like having access to that card. More generally, I've been pretty happy with just kind of like the core of the main deck. Just like knighting people into oblivion has been sweet. So let's do it one more time, folks, shall we? Alright, I have a very solid hand. The Dryad Arbor doesn't really count as a card, but the rest of the hand is very good. Unsure whether I'll go turn 2 Stoneforge or turn 2 Sylvan Library. It'll depend on what my opponent does. Opponent was F6 for my turn. No counter magic in hand. It's either burn or red prison. If it's burn, my mom dies. If it's red prison, something might happen. If it's red prison, then I just slam Sylvan Library. Alright, it's burn. So I'm not going to be drawing cards with this Sylvan Library, but I want the selection that this offers over the next few turns. And it's going to be sweet against this Goblin Guide. Thalia, deal. So we're going to play this Thalia. My opponent will probably pay 2 mana to remove the Thalia on their turn. I get to draw a card with Goblin Guide, and then I'll Swords to Plowshares the Goblin Guide. Yes. Yes, give me that card. Could also be Knights of the Round, that sweet Final Fantasy summon. Hello, Burn Friend. How are you doing? Are you feeling okay? How would you feel if I just got 2 different pieces of equipment that gained life? Would that make you feel better or worse? My gut says worse. My opponent does still have 6 cards in hand. Oh, poor buddy, you just played Eidolon. That's not good. That's not good for you. I'm not even casting anything this turn. Yep. Just want to shuffle those away. Get a forest. Play around Price of Progress a little bit. Alright, so this is targeting that Stoneforge, so that's fine. Plays choke deck, plays against 5 non-blue decks in a row. That is legacy. Wow, these are really good. So I'm going to go ahead and cast a Thalia here, because the only way my opponent can have anything that interacts with me meaningfully this turn is if they have Fire Blast. If they have Fire Blast, they have to Fire Blast by Germ right here, sacrificing 2 of their lands. Now I can just equip this to my Stoneforge. I can start doing my life-linking thing. And no need to play my Dryad Arbor here. Actually, I can play the Dryad Arbor because the price of progress doesn't really matter. Like, my opponent can't cast it anytime soon because of this Thalia. So this is just free to play. So I go 5, equip Batterskull to Thalia, and then 1 play Mother of Runes. My burn opponent has had enough of that. Alright, we're probably not going to board in too many cards here. Canonists are fine. Paths are fine. Oblivion Ring is a consideration if my opponent plays, like, Sulfuric Vortex or Ensnaring Bridge. So let's start with what I don't like here. Ramunap recurring lands is not going to be good. We're not going to get to draw cards with Sylvan Library. It was good fixing that time, but especially on the draw, I just generally think that's going to be too slow. And Gaddock Teague basically only shuts off Fire Blast, which is a very good card, but I don't know that just stopping a Fire Blast is really worth one of my own cards, especially when it also shuts off my Green Suns. So I think we're going to run this. I don't know that the Oblivion Ring is actually better than anything else that's already here. This is a medium hand that is on the cusp of being a mulligan. I have a removal spell for a creature, I have a source of life gain, but I have a lot of land. I think I keep this, but this is very close to just being a mulligan. This Guy's Cradle kind of does nothing, but as a 6-card hand, I would be super happy to see everything minus Gaia's Cradle. So I think that makes me keep it. Blech. I'm just going to get Batterskull at this, so my opponent's forced to point a removal spell here. And since I have a lot of land and not much to do with it, hard casting Batterskull a couple of turns down the line is fine. Palladio, you know, I'm a Thalia and Friends of Thalia channel, so like I'll always be messing around with things like, you know, DNT, Maverick, 5-color humans, that sort of stuff. So yeah, expect to see this again. Maybe not immediately, but expect to see it again. I did not want to path my own bomb there. Like, there's some consideration to it, since my opponent might not have a creature. But I don't really know that that's worth it. I would love to play a deck with Brian Stardarm in it. That was one of my first commanders back when I actually played that format. So I'd 100% be on board with that. So I'm hoping that my opponent expends resources to kill this ooze, and then my Batterskull rides the rest of the way to victory. What is this? This is a lot of mana. Or is this just my opponent thinning? Which I'd be fine with. Price of progress. Well, I guess that's happening. Fire blast me. This probably just means I'm dead. Master, I'm doing well. See if I'm just dead, though. Alright, another price to progress. Ah. Like, I guess I could have, like, pathed my mom, gotten my Batterskull down a turn sooner. But if my opponent top decks a creature, it just represents so much damage that I think I have to, like, save it. It's just also so devastating if my opponent has a smash and I just, like, get rid of 2 of my cards to accelerate into Batterskull and then my opponent just kills it. This hand is fine. Like, I have Thalia into Stoneforge Mystic. These Wastelands aren't doing much. The Scrib Ranger isn't doing much. But I've got a very good, fair game plan. Alright, like, Rabble Master attacking into giant lifelinkers. That always just feels so good. Oh man, Grim Lavamancer. That is a beating. So I'm going to play a Thalia this turn in the hopes that that slows my opponent down enough that my Stoneforge can get active. So I'm going to play Jitte because I think I've got a pretty good chance of, on my next turn, playing Jitte. Like, my opponent will kill the Stoneforge Mystic. Yep. And I think I've got a pretty good chance of, like, play Jitte, opponent attacks with Grim Lavamancer, and then I flash in Scrib Ranger and steal this game. Please attack with the Lavamancer. Please attack with the Lavamancer. Well, this is unfortunate, but this is happening. And I think since my chances of winning are so dependent on my opponent attacking with that Grim Lavamancer there and getting greedy. Excuse me. That it is correct to take 2 more points of damage in order to try to force that to happen. Price of Progress is going to be real good against me this game. Well, it sure seems like my opponent has a removal spell. How am I winning this one? If I top deck Sword of Fire and Ice, and my Thought is still alive, I can go 4 mana cast, 1 2 mana equip, so I don't need to play another land for that. If I draw Batter Skull, I can just play 1 more land and cast that. I can already Green Sun for 3, paying 1 extra, leaving up Caracas. Scavenging Ooze would be fine. Scavenging Ooze would be a reason to play more lands, but Price of Progress would be a reason not to. I should probably accept that I'll lose this game to Price of Progress and play towards drawing Ooze. Because if I rip Ooze next turn and I don't play a land, I can only gain 1 life that turn, and I can't get it out of a bolt range or like get it out of Grim Lavamancer activation. So I think I play my Savannah rather than my fetch land. And then don't attack. All right. Yeah, so like last game when I kept that path, something like a Grim Lavamancer absolutely would have wrecked me. All right. So overall, I really liked this deck list tonight. Like, I'm a fan of Maverick historically speaking. You know, it plays a lot of my favorite sorts of cards. Um, it feels well positioned right now. We only went 3-2, but we had a very difficult loss to lands, and you know, the burn matchup here didn't break our way, but I definitely felt like I was in fine shape for most of there. Like, I've got Stoneforge, Thalia, Mom, Swords of Plowshares, a lot of the stuff that's really good from D&T in the burn matchup, as well as a larger finisher. Sort of awkwardly, though, like, there are a bunch of cards like Sylvan Library and Green Sun Zenith that are just, like, a little bit too slow in the matchup, and you're more exposed to Price of Progress than I would like. So I don't know how good that matchup actually is. It's probably even-ish, maybe slightly favored for burn. I don't have the matchup knowledge there to know for sure. All right, I might play this again on Thursday night. I enjoyed it quite a bit. So just to kind of like go over a couple of things real quick. Here's the Death and Taxes deck that I've been mucking around with. No changes since the GP. I've still been pretty happy with that deck list. And to preview something else, where is it? I do donation deck lists on this channel, and when I hit my next goal of 3 donation deck lists, we're going to play something like this. We're going to play a Mangara Lock deck featuring an Eldrazi Displacer, Mangara Coriander, Flicker Wisp, Recruiter of the Guard engine, and Chalice of the Void as well, and I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the night here, folks. Again, my name is Phil Gallagher. I run Thraben University. We're playing Thalia and Friends of Thalia's decks on this channel. And if you enjoyed this content, please follow. And if you really enjoyed it, consider subscribing or donating, as it gets more Sweet Legacy content and occasionally some of Phil's sweet brews as rewards. Later on, I want to revisit this mono black deck. I think with Deathrite Shaman gone, we can maybe do something more broken with it. But that's a thing for another day. All right, you can see me on Wednesday on the Legacy Premier League. I believe I'll be doing commentary, and I'll be doing another side project associated with that as well that you all will get to see soon. So take care, chat, and I hope you all have a good evening.